Hey, what's going on? So, I'm back, and I kind of want to voice my opinion about how I feel about this EDP 445 documentary. Um, it's mostly going to be unedited because I am going to add some music to it, and I wasn't really planning on making a video about anything, really. Just wanted to voice my opinion about how I feel about it. I had mixed emotions about it, not saying that it's bad or anything like that. I get why Mike Klum made the documentary. I do. I get that he wants to spread awareness and bring light to what EDP did, along with donating to victims who have been affected by people like EDP. But then, as I mentioned before, how I voiced my opinion about before I watched the documentary, and yes, I did watch it. A part of me felt like that the documentary would give him even more attention, and he clearly does not deserve it. So, I have so much things I want to talk about regarding this documentary, but I list at least 6 things I did, 6 of the most important things I want to cover. And no, I did not write a script. I don't want to write a script because that's going to take forever. But I just listed down some of the things I wanted to talk about. The first thing I want to bring up is his rejection from a woman in high school. Well, I said woman, but I think he was around his teenage years when he asked her out. So, in other words, basically, it was, I don't know if it was implied that he was in a relationship with this woman, but we'll just say he was. They were holding hands and she turned him down. And that's what caused this whole incel persona to come out. So yeah, he because of his rejection towards one simple woman, he develops a strong hatred towards women. And I just want to point out that just because a woman rejects you, a woman or man rejects you, does not mean you should hate someone based on their gender. They're not all bad. And I've been rejected by women, but you don't see me hating on them. But yeah, that's how I feel about that. The second thing I want to bring up is why he's not in jail, because of the predator poacher's incompetence. And yes, it is because of them. To summarize what happened, basically Cole Raven found out about what EDP was doing. So he informed Chet Goldstein or Alex Rosen about EDP, and instead of getting the police involved, he and the CC unit confronted EDP, and they were more so worried about getting clout instead of getting this guy out the streets. So yeah, because they fucked up the sting operation and botched it, there's nothing that law enforcement can do, because like EDP said, they investigated it, but it was thrown out the window because of 2 bozos trying to get clout. So yeah, that's why he's not in jail, because of them. Another thing I want to bring up is that because of these 2, EDP has done more problematic things, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But that's the second thing. The third thing is Gideon adding EDP in a Discord, knowing damn well that half of his followers are kids. Why the fuck would you bother to have this guy in the Discord, in your Discord, knowing what type of person he is? And his defense is like, oh, he wanted a Q&A with EDP. Okay, you couldn't do that in a private chat? But you could have done it in the private chat, but no, you made a specific chat. You invited him in your Discord, knowing who he is and what he's capable of and what he's been caught doing. But I don't know. Next thing I want to talk about is Skeeter Jean admitting the confrontation with EDP was just for clout and content, followed by Gideon wearing a cupcake costume. Yes, you heard right. In the documentary, Skeeter Jean flat out admitted that the whole confrontation with EDP was for content. He wanted clout. And in case you don't know, they confronted him in the dialysis center. So, and then Skeeter Jean literally pointed out that, yeah, it was underwhelming, but there's no content. And I will voice my opinion about how I feel about predator catchers. I don't know when, but it's gonna be like next week. I don't know. That being said, let's talk about Gideon wearing a cupcake costume. There was no reason for you to do that. When I first watched that video, I will admit I did think it was somewhat funny, but a part of me was like, this guy, EDP, is a dangerous predator. And Gideon is making light of this and thinking it's a joke by putting on a cupcake costume. This guy is a danger to kids, and you think it'll be a great idea to dress up as a cupcake. There's a time and place for that, man. There was a time and place for that. You did not need to do that. Next thing I want to talk about is EDP admitting his crimes. In case you don't know, he has admitted to a lot of crimes, and I said a lot. He's admitted to so many crimes that I can't even remember. I lost count, man. The amount of things he's admitted is just disgusting and gross, and it baffles me how he's still not. It's baffling how he thinks he's not gonna go to jail for this, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But he's so confident that he can be a free man, when in reality your freedom is about to be taken, EDP, and you don't even realize it. And another thing, the last thing I want to cover is YouTubers calling him out, particularly Adam22, Boogie, and Chris Chan. Now, Adam22 mentioned that the last person he wants his wife to sleep with is EDP. Why would you bring that up? Why? Like, why would you have Adam22 in the documentary knowing he's gonna say some dumb shit like that? Like, okay. Like, dude, this guy is a predator, and you want to talk about him being the last person you want to sleep with your wife? Next is Boogie. This dude had the nerve to call EDP the R word when you are the same guy who, if I remember correctly, admitted to faking having cancer. And then what made me so mad, well, I can't really be mad. What annoyed me was that he was described as a cancer survivor. He did not survive cancer. He never had cancer. He lied about it. He faked having cancer. So, okay. That made me mad, because as someone who's had relatives who passed away from cancer, that I was not happy to find out that he was written as a cancer survivor. And where do I even begin with Chris Chan? They had the nerve to say that EDP should go to jail, and he should. I'm not defending him, but you, Chris Chan, are no better. You literally did unspeakable things to your mother. I believe you both should be in jail. You're the last person to talk about anybody getting karma, Chris Chan, when you've done gross, disgusting things to your own mother, who had dementia, by the way. But that's all I have to say about these 6 things. And yeah, EDP, you might think you might not go to jail, but you are. I think the ending of the documentary Mike Klum made is hinting and implying that EDP might go to jail. And I say might, but there's a strong possibility that he will go to jail after this documentary goes viral. I don't know how long will it take for him to go to. It did mention that 2027 he might be under investigation until then, but best case scenario is he spends at least 10 years behind bars, like his attorney said. The criminal attorney, my bad. The second best case scenario is that he spends at least a good portion of his life in prison, about 3 to 4 years, but he has to register as a sex offender. Either way, he's fucked with a capital F. EDP, you might think that you've won, and you might think you might be a free man. But in reality, your freedom is about to come to an end because of the things that you've done. So enjoy your freedom while it lasts. And shouldn't he also face charges for terroristic threats? I don't know, man. I just feel like he should be charged for that too. But what do you guys think? Have a wonderful Sunday. In the meantime, I'm out.